Hello, candidates. Thank you for being a good child. I hope you have been following this platform from the start. It has been long, and by God's grace, we are together today. Above all, I would like to welcome you to this lesson. Before we separated, that is before you got the abrupt holidays, we had covered a number of areas. And some of them, we had covered them fully, and that is sets. So by the time we closed, we were supposed to have started with the other areas. We started with the length. We covered length and its application. We covered mass. We're done with the capacity. But we're supposed to have started with figures of length. So from P3, you learned a number of figures. And if I may ask you out there, the figures are, we have ever learned triangles, you learned rectangles. In P6, you also went deep on a trapezium, parallelogram, a rhombus, a kite, and so on. Now, in P7, we basically go through all those figures. And for today, I would like us to begin with a triangle. Now, in length, we talk about area and perimeter. A triangle, maybe before we go to a triangle in details, what we call area. By definition, area is the amount of space covered by a flat surface. That is by definition. Now, area originates from covering a particular region with the square tiles. Say, for example, if you cover a region, a rectangular region, for example, like this one, if you cover it with the square tiles, I have my square tiles here. This is my square tile. This is one. I covered this. If you go to units, maybe we shall come to this later. Units, the common units used in area are square millimeters, and the area of a square region of side 1 millimeter. What I mean here is, if the length of each side of this figure of mine is 1 millimeter, so the area that it covers, the area this square tile of mine covers, is 1 square millimeter. Other units are square centimeters. Still, I want to talk about the same. If from here up to here, from here to here is 1 centimeter, so it means the area, the region that is covered by this square tile of mine is 1 square centimeter. You can talk about decimeters, that is square decimeters, as the units for area. Still, it originates from here. From here, if from here up to here is 1 decimeter. So the region that is covered by this square of mine is 1 square decimeter. We talked about hectares. The area of a square region of side 100 meters is 1 hectare. We talked about that, meaning if I have my square region from here up to here as 100 meters by 100 meters, the area that is covered by this is 1 hectare. We had that. We went deep about that, and so on and so on. So, looking at this illustration here, the simple diagram I have, the above rectangular, when you look at this rectangular region here, you see, is a region covered by, for example, covered by 6 squares. So the area of this is 6 square units. If it is in centimeters, you'll say 6 square centimeters because you have 6 squares. If it is in meters, then you say it is 6 square meters, and so on, talking about other units. Now, I would like to cross over to a triangle. A triangle also originates from a rectangle. When we divide a rectangle, what you see here, when you divide this, that is, you draw a line from here up to here. This line is called a diagonal. If you draw a line from here up to here, from this corner to this corner to the opposite corner, and you cut it, for example, I have cut it, what do you see? A triangle. So, in other words, area of a triangle originates from the area of a rectangle. We know the area of a rectangle is equal to length times width. That is the area of a rectangle, length times width. Now, when you divide it into 2 equal parts, area of a rectangle is length times width. When you divide it into 2 equal parts, you get the area of a triangle. That is, for me to get the area of a triangle, the area of a triangle is dividing the area of a rectangle by 2. Dividing the area of a rectangle by 2. Now, when you divide this rectangle into 2 equal parts, I have divided the area of a rectangle into 2 equal parts. The length, because when we had this as a rectangle, this was the length and this is the width. The length now, when you form a triangle, the length is replaced with the base, then the width is replaced with the height. So in other words, the length, let me come here, use here, area will be, of a triangle will be a half, because we are dividing the area of a rectangle, the area of a rectangle in 2 equal parts. A half times, like I said, you replace the length with the base, that is base, and the width with the height. So that is where the area of a triangle also originates. Without wasting time, I would like to go deep to this. A triangle, like I've already introduced it, when you talk about its area, always the base and the height meet at a right angle. The base and the height of a triangle meet at a right angle. Look at this illustration is here. I have this triangle. In geometry, you will talk about types of triangles, and I am not going to talk about types of triangles for now. Here I have this triangle, and from here up to here is the base, and this is the height. The base and the height of a triangle meet at a right angle. This is the height. I have my right angle here. I hope you have not forgotten that as a symbol of a right angle. And from here up to here will be the base. Looking at this illustration here, from here up to here is the base, and this one is the height. Where have I dotted this? I am specifically talking about this triangle here. So if I'm to get the area of this, looking at this shape, the right angle, if I cover this part, the right angle is not there. So this one is meant to show you that the height is this, and that's why I have dotted this, because they are just imaginary lines. It may be drawn upside down like this. Please, the first thing you do is identify the base and identify the height before you go ahead with your calculations. Now, I would like us to look at some few examples. Let's look at some few examples. For example, I can be asked, one, that calculate the area of a triangle. Calculate the area of a triangle whose base is 8 centimeters and height, or the height is 5 centimeters. Now, in this calculation is here, dear children, take note of this. When you ask to find, of course, here you always have to identify the keywords. Here the question is asking you to find the area of a triangle whose base is and the height is, I think that, so that is what you are supposed to do in every question that has words like that. Now, after you have done that, summarize your question and say the base is 8 centimeters, height is 5 centimeters. What does the question want you to do? To calculate the area, So the area is the one which is needed. Good. After doing that, please, you have to be very systematic. After you have summarized like that, go ahead and say, like I talked about, I introduced my triangle and how to find the area of a triangle. We said area of a triangle is a half times base times height. I hope you have not forgotten where the base and the height originates from. Very good. So after stating the formula like that, make sure you make the correct substitution. Make the right substitution. There is always a mistake which is made by some children. You will find a child, especially those who don't summarize. If you don't summarize, you will find yourself just writing a half times base, 5 centimeters height. You just write anyhow. So please, if you do that, you will be penalized. So dear children, learn to substitute correctly. So here, say a half times, what is our base? 8 centimeters, that's good. And then the height is 5 centimeters. Now, in that step, I do not want you to go ahead. We know you are supposed to divide, that is, you are supposed to cancel those that can be cancelled. But in that step, leave it as it is, as what I always call a substitution step. Rewrite the same step like this. Rewrite the same step and say a half times base, that is 8 centimeters, and the height is 5 centimeters. So when you rewrite, you can go ahead with your cancellation there. So you can see, is 5, can we cancel 5? Can we divide 5 and 2? No, not divisible. Let's look at this. What about this one? It is. So we can go ahead and say by 2, 1 by 2 here. What is it? 4. So after that, rewrite it, bring this down. Don't write the answer direct. Bring it down and say what we are left with now, multiplying 4 centimeters and 5 centimeters. Common mistake always there is children tend to multiply only 5 by 4 and they forget to multiply centimeters by centimeters. Like I said, area originates from the squares. Area originates from the squares. So here I have 4 squares. Then again I have 5 squares. So that's why we say we have 20 squares. So how do you write that? In other words, we have 20 square units. For this case, I am using centimeters. So my answer will be 20 square centimeters. And then you underline that properly after getting your answer. Underline. So that is one of the examples I have. Let me first do away with this. My next example I want to talk about here is, I may be asked, given a diagram just, that calculate or find the area of each of the figures. Each of the figures below. That is our question. For example, I had some illustrations that I gave you, the ones I have just removed from here. My first illustration was looking like this. It was like this. Good. It was like that. I can have this as 10 centimeters. This one is 8 centimeters. And this is 6 centimeters. Children, look at that. What is the base? Can we say the base is 10 because it is down at the bottom? No. Remember what I said? I said the base and the height of a triangle meet at a right angle. So the first thing you do, like we did in the first example, is identify the base, identify the height. So remember they meet at a right angle. So here, what is the base? Is the base 8? Is it 6 or 10? Good. Without wasting time, here, looking at this as our right angle. I think you'll not be penalized if you use any of this as the base. Probably, we can have the base as 8 centimeters. The height is 6 centimeters. And the question is asking us to find the area. Good. After that, don't state the formula when you have not summarized, when you have not identified the base and the height like that. The base and the height of a triangle meet at a right angle. Good. So there we are. We now state the formula after identifying the base and the height as a half times base times height. Good. A half times the base. The base is, like we said, is 8 centimeters. The height is 6 centimeters. What did I say in that step? That I supposed to cancel from there? No. I said leave it as a substitution step. Rewrite the same step and say, rewrite the same step. I'm rewriting the same step here. Then from here I can divide. I can go ahead and cancel. Here, by 2, 1. By 2, 4. What am I left with? We are left with the 4 centimeters by 6 centimeters. So let's multiply that. Good. Somebody I know has already got the answer, has given the answer, has written the answer. The answer is 24. Is that right? No, I said talking about area, children. This is a region covered by squares. Look at this, like I had my rectangle at first. Along the length, I had 4 squares. Or we can have 4 squares along the length. Then along the width, we can have 6 squares. Like this, if I am to illustrate it very fast, can have something like this. 4, 1, 2, like that. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is along the length. Then along the width, can have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me have the 6th one here. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So how many squares shall we have altogether? When you count, you realize that we shall have 24 squares. We shall not have 24 just, but we shall have 24 squares. Meaning for this case, we shall have 24 square centimeters. You may be given another illustration like this one here. You may be given another illustration like this. You may be given another illustration of this type. Good. Let me have it like this. I have this as I just say 5 centimeters. As 5 centimeters. Then we have from here to here as, let's say, 7 centimeters. We have this as 8 centimeters. And we can have this as 6 centimeters. So when you are given such a triangle, a child who is not serious will just substitute anyhow. So please, dear children, I said the base and the height of a triangle meet at a right angle. So here, where is the right angle? Is it somewhere here? Not there. I can see this as a right angle. So definitely this is our base and this one is the height. So, this is our height and this is the base. So our base, if you are to substitute it, to identify it there as it is given, it is 7 centimeters. Then the height is 5 centimeters. What is it? What is the question asking you to find? It is talking about area. So after you have done that, go ahead and do this. Organize your work. Organize your work. Area of a triangle is a half times base times height. Area is a half. The base is 7 centimeters. The height is 5 centimeters. Correct substitution. That's good. Don't cancel from there. Rewrite the same step down. Rewrite the same step like this and then cancel. Look at that. Looking at this, do you have an even number? Because this one 2 is a 2. So meaning if you are to cancel, then one of these must be an even number. So since we don't have any number here that is divisible by 2, what we do with this, go ahead. Or you can give, since this one is a fraction, go ahead and give this as a give 7 denominator 1, give 5 also a denominator 1. And then you apply the rule of multiplication of fractions. What does it state? That when you are dealing with multiplication of fractions, multiply the numerators alone and multiply the denominators alone. Don't force and say by 2, 1, by 2, 3, remember 1. No. If none of this is divisible by 2, multiply the numerators alone. Let me come this way. The numerators alone and the denominators alone. So 7 centimeters times 5 centimeters gives us 7 centimeters times 5 centimeters gives us 35 square centimeters. All of that is supposed to be divided by 2 times 1 times 1. That gives us 2. Good. Look at that. Still, when you look at that, we have got an odd number which is not divisible by 2. So let's go ahead and still cancel. By 2 here, 1. When you cancel like this, 2 goes into 3, also 1. That is 3 divided by 2 is 1. You remain with the 1. Make it 15. Divided by 2 is 7. The remainder is 1. So the area is 17.5 square centimeters. Children always fear to get an area, an answer which is a fraction like that. They want a whole, like in my first example. They want a whole, like in the second example. No. If you happen to get a fraction like this, it does not mean that you have failed. Please be strict. And when some children get this kind of answer, they think that, hey, I think the base was supposed to be 8. I think, so they go back and cross. Please make or study the questions always before you attempt them. So there we are. Can say 17.5. Some children can go ahead and say 17.5 because when you express a half as a decimal, you get 0.5. You can put it as 17.5 or you leave it there so you can remain here. Lastly, I may be given a figure like this. I may be given a figure like this. I may be given a figure like this. I'll be given a figure of this type here. Good. And this is the height. From here up to here is 4 decimeters. This time I want to change the units. Then from here up to here is 14 decimeters. From here up to here is 14 decimeters. The question can be, find the area of the shaded part. Or they can decide to name this as A, B, C. Then they call this one D. The question can be, find the area of triangle ABC. Triangle ABC. So you look at this. So if you are asked to find the area of triangle ABC, like this, please children, identify the base. I said this is 14 decimeters. Identify the base of that triangle ABC and identify the height of the triangle ABC. In most cases, okay, let me have this as 6 decimeters. This one is 12 decimeters. So I have changed that, though my question was saying find the area of the figure. Now, this question is find the area of triangle ABC. Come from A to B to C and back to A. ABC. So what is the base of that triangle? Remember, from here up to here is 4 decimeters. From here up to here is 14 decimeters. What is the base? If from here up to here is 14 and from here up to here is 4, what is it from here up to here? Which is the base of our triangle ABC. So what do we do with that? Good. Somebody has already seen, and you are not supposed to use 14. The base is not 14, neither is it 4, but it is, so here we look for the base first. If this is 14 and this one is 4, what is from here up to here? It will be 14 take away 4. And what is our base? 10 decimeters. Wow, I like good children like you. Now, this is 10. When I add 4 plus 10, what do you get? 14. Good. The height is, can we say 12 decimeters? No, it is 6 decimeters. So the area is what is needed. Go ahead. After that, go ahead and say area. The formula is together base, half times base times height. Area is a half times the base is 10 decimeters and the height is 6 decimeters. Good. I said don't make any cancellation there. Don't cancel from that step. Leave it as a substitution step. So rewrite and say a half times 10 and the base is 6 decimeters. Let's cancel this very fast. 2, 1 here, 2, 3. So the area is 10 decimeters by 3 decimeters. So our final area is 30 square decimeters. Underline that as your answer. There is something that you were told in algebra, that always whenever you are forming an equation, make sure that the equal signs are in the straight line. Within the shortest time possible, I may be given a simple question like this. If I give you some activity, if I give you the activity, my question can be like this. Oh, I have this figure. I have this figure. And the question wants you to find the area of triangle A, B, C. From here to here is 4 centimeters. This is 3 centimeters. And this one is 6 centimeters. This is 10 centimeters, like that. So what is the area of triangle? What is the area of triangle A, B, C? A, B, C. From A to B, and then from B to C, back to A. So this is the triangle we're talking about, this one here. So what is the base? Look for it. From A to B is the base. The base is not 4, not 3, but we are going to join this and say 4 centimeters plus 3 centimeters. So what is our base this time? It is 7 centimeters. The height is it 10? No, it is 6 centimeters. So the height is 6 centimeters. What does the question want us to do? To find the area. I think I want to leave that there. Who cannot complete this? I know everybody can do that. So, in the interest of time, allow me to give you some few numbers to do. Some few numbers to do here. Some few numbers to do. Good. Let me first. And this only 3. Very good, they are there. Now, the figures are there. Identify the base and the height. From here to here is 12, this is 5. From here to here is 12, this is 8, this is 10, this is 9. From here to here is 4 decimeters. Here there is nothing. And from here to here is 16 decimeters. This one is also clear. It is there. Number 2 is there. Finally, my number 3 is here. My number 3 is here. Find the area of the shaded parts only the area of the shaded parts. Look at this. What is the base and what is the height? Area of the shaded part. What is the base and what is the height? Area of the shaded part. This is 20, this is 9, this is 8 centimeters, this is 7, this is 12. There you are. Children, thank you for being good, and please continue being good children, and by completing the assignments. You know, a good child always does the assignments or the activities given. I wish you the best. Have a nice time.